The battlefield of Kurukshetra is filled with the sounds of conches and the anticipation of war. Standing between the two mighty armies, Arjuna gazes upon his relatives, teachers, friends, and loved ones. The thought of fighting against them overwhelms him with sorrow. His body trembles, his mouth becomes dry, and his heart is filled with doubt. Unable to bear the emotional burden, he lowers his mighty bow, Gandiva, and refuses to fight. Seeing Arjuna's despair, Lord Krishna begins to guide him with words of wisdom. Krishna reminds Arjuna that his grief comes from misunderstanding the true nature of life and death. He explains that the soul is eternal, unborn, and indestructible. The body may perish, but the soul continues its journey. Just as a person changes old clothes and puts on new ones, the soul leaves one body and enters another. Therefore, the wise do not mourn for those who are born or those who die. Krishna teaches that life is governed by change. Birth and death are natural events in the cycle of existence. What is born will eventually die, and what dies will be born again. Understanding this truth allows one to face life's challenges with courage and wisdom. Krishna then reminds Arjuna of his sacred duty as a warrior. As a protector of righteousness, it is his responsibility to stand against injustice. Abandoning his duty out of fear or attachment would bring dishonor and prevent him from fulfilling his purpose. A noble person acts according to righteousness, regardless of personal gain or loss. Next, Krishna introduces the principle of karma yoga, the path of selfless action. He explains that every person has control over their actions, but not over the results of those actions. Worrying about success or failure creates attachment and suffering. Instead, one should focus entirely on performing their duty with sincerity and dedication, leaving the outcome to the divine. Krishna teaches that true wisdom lies in maintaining balance. A wise person remains steady in both victory and defeat, pleasure and pain, gain and loss. Such a person is not controlled by external circumstances, but remains anchored in inner peace. This state of balance is known as yoga. As Krishna continues, he warns Arjuna about the dangers of uncontrolled desires. When a person becomes attached to worldly objects, desire arises. When desires are blocked, anger develops. Anger leads to confusion. Confusion destroys memory, and the loss of wisdom ultimately leads to downfall. Therefore, mastering one's mind and senses is essential for spiritual growth. Krishna describes the qualities of a person with steady wisdom, known as a sthitaprajna. Such a person remains calm and content, free from excessive attachment, fear, and anger. They are not disturbed by success or failure, and find happiness within themselves rather than in external possessions. Their mind is disciplined, their senses are under control, and their actions are guided by wisdom. To illustrate this state, Krishna compares the wise person to a vast ocean. Countless rivers flow into the ocean, yet it remains full and undisturbed. In the same way, the enlightened person remains peaceful even as desires, challenges, and experiences arise in life. As the chapter concludes, Krishna reveals that freedom from ego, attachment, and selfish desires leads to lasting peace. One who realizes the eternal nature of the soul, performs duty without attachment to results, and remains balanced in all situations, attains spiritual wisdom and liberation. Thus, Chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita lays the foundation for all the teachings that follow. It introduces the eternal nature of the soul, the importance of righteous duty, the path of selfless action, and the qualities of true wisdom. Through these timeless teachings, Krishna begins transforming Arjuna's despair into understanding, preparing him for the journey towards self-realization and enlightenment.